Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right, this is fine.
Hair or makeup? I don't do hair or makeup.
I'm gonna have to fix my hair.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare. Do you want to be? Oh my god.
If you ever wanted to eat one of those worms that pops out of a hive when you kill it, but don't want to subject yourself to a lifelong pact with the worm gods, have I got the recipe for you. We are going to make some worm pastries today. The ingredients you want: 1 tube of those pre-packaged compressed semi-explosive crescent rolls, some pudding. I like the tapioca to give it that extra texture when you're biting into the worms. Some neon green food dye, and I like to use this neon green. I can't do it with the hair. I'm fixing the hair.
Okay. Here.
No, that's fine. No, good. Just let me fix the hair. All right, I feel so much better now. Some green writing gel to give those little beady eyes. Really adds to the appeal. And also baking parchment. Parchment paper super duper helps out a lot. It's great. It's great. We use parchment paper. It's better than tin foil, and it's definitely better than washing your sheet every time you make something. All right. So the first thing you gotta do is open up your can of pastries. This is the best part. I need to put on gloves. This is terrible. Yeah, that's good enough. It's always important to maintain sanitation. Parchment paper out. I'll clean that up later. Step 1 actually is to turn on the oven. You want to make sure your oven is at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you're doing phase shift analysis, that will be just under 2 pi radian Fahrenheit. Get a spoon. Take your delicious pudding. I can't actually open this with my, no, I got it.
No, oh.
I don't have the dexterity with 2 layers of gloves to open this the right way, so I'm just gonna use the tools available to me. Oh, there's another side.
Local man, that's all.
All right. Take your pudding and your neon green food coloring. You put in 4 drops, 5 drops, depending on how wicked you want that soul fire green glow. Yeah. Takes some effort to mix it in because it's kind of funky. But you know you did it good when it looks like a very ghoulish green that you probably shouldn't put in your mouth. But that is exactly what we're gonna do. Does that look good to you? She's nodding her head no. That means it's good. All right. Make sure to get those nice and unfurled. Some of them will be bigger than others. That's also okay. That just means that they've gotten more tribute. So now what we're gonna do is we put the goo inside of the worms. You're gonna take the pudding. You wanna use a lot less than you think you need. Otherwise, your worm's gonna be all bloated and gushy, and it's just unpleasant no matter how you look at it. Take your spoon, just sort of gush it around the base of the one thing. You want to make sure that it's all sort of in the middle, because otherwise it leaks when you roll it, and it's just kind of unpleasant. And you want to sort of make sure you spread it out a little bit so that it doesn't all sort of blob into one thing. You want the goo to go all throughout the body of it. Yes?
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for helping out, Natasha.
You're having
You're
fun.
an invaluable member of this fire team. Sometimes I will take Oreos and crush those up and put them in here as well. That gives it a delicious crunchy texture. Really feels like you're getting that space worm taste. Probably gonna have a lot of extra pudding left over. I don't want to touch it, but maybe you do. So now is the important part where you roll the triangle into the worm. So you're gonna start with that short leg, rolling it up and in. You want to try to push down on the sides to keep the inner goo from leaking out everywhere. That's super important. You don't want it to goosh out just yet, else it makes pretty much everything else really difficult and also pretty gross. Now you're probably 9 times out of 10 you're going to have one end that's a lot shorter than the other end, and that's okay. We work with that. I'm going to take that short end, sort of snub nose it in, round it off. It's going to be the worm's head. And we're going to take that long end, we're going to push it down, sort of form it into a Y shape with our fingers to give it that tail. Sometimes you get the actual perfect crescent where both sides are about equal, and you can just decide what side you actually want to work with. I'm not going to come to your house and complain. As with all things with the Hive, progress requires sacrifice. So you're going to take one of these triangles and destroy it to boost the other ones. We're going to take our 8th sibling that was sacrificed, provide tribute to the rest of them, and start breaking it up into little strips. We're going to take those strips and we're going to use those to create our crispy little ridges that run along the backs of the worms. Because otherwise, if you just try to pinch up the sides of the rolls, once they bake, they start to pull back in, and you just get this tiny little ripple across the top that doesn't actually have any texture or any visual appeal. It does not stand out. So you want to pinch and stretch and extrude these segments and then stick them along the tops. I'm going to try to pinch them in place along the top. They don't have to stick along the entire length, but as long as they are sort of following the same length, that way you're going to get those crispy ridges. It's my favorite part about making these worms is that you do actually need to sacrifice one of them to get them all to actually come out right. Yeah.
Sword logic.
It's poetic sword logic. I'm just going to stick that there. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that because no worm really is. So once you have your worms nice and assembled, you're gonna pop them in the oven for about 12 minutes or until they're a nice crispy golden brown. They look like they've got some crunch to them. Gently push those in there. Great. Be back in 12 minutes. Did that wrong.
Need some help?
No, I got it, thank you. Once the timer's done, it's time to take them out of the oven. Alright. Yeah. These are significantly better. They're gonna be puffy, and some of the ridges will have deflated, but that's alright. Beautiful worm pastries. Some of them will be oozing. That's part of the allure.
I would choose a different word than allure.
Alright.
Part of the horror.
Or,
the-
well, look at them. You're going to want to let them cool down for a few minutes so that you don't burn yourself when you eat them. And also the writing gel will not stick until they are not 350 degrees. I already made that joke, Natasha.
Gotta use it again.
No, you're not going to use the same joke twice in one video.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
No, that's bad.
People like you are killing the planet.
All right. Yeah. Should be crispy on the outside, but gooey on the inside. Ow. That was still too hot. Steamy. You look skeptical.
It's pretty green.
It's pretty, well, it's supposed to be green.
Yeah.
That's the guts. When you step on one, just green everywhere.
And you're putting that in your mouth.
And you're putting that in, well, yeah, it's delicious, and it's considerably less
Evil.
curse-inducing. Yeah, it's not as evil. Take your green writing gel, add in those 3 little eyes so that they have that illustrious glow. Look at those puppy dog eyes. All 3 of them. Oh, look at that, that's fantastic. Yeah. I'll be honest, I wasn't actually expecting this to work.
Nice, nice.
Bloop. Oh, that one needs a little bit more.
More love.
There we go.
Oh,
Look at that.
That's luminous. That is.
Yeah, it's Soulfire.
Is that like Eris Morn's eyes?
Exactly like Eris Morn's eyes.
Am I doing good or am I doing good? Look at that.
Look at that. Look at those beautiful eyes.
I don't like my food looking back at me.
Try it. Eat it.
Oh.
You don't need
Gross! The body cavity.
Yeah.
That's in my mouth.
The tail is the crunchiest part.
Give us some life advice.
Life advice.
Yeah.
So when the next time you pop one of those acolytes in the head and its hive worm falls out and you feel the need to eat it, now you have a safe alternative. Great. Sturdy worms.
And what's the dough? The dough is with me.
It's more of a composite, like organic polymer chain linking kind of thing. I think. I don't know. That's a good question. You should look that up. I'm curious.
Roger. Anything else, Mr. Stark?
That will be all, Miss Potts. I feel like you're judging me right now. I can't.
I'm not